Good morning to all. I, Dr. S.N.Teli, IQAC Coordinator, Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Engineering, Navi Mumbai. It is my immense pleasure and privilege for welcoming you all today's international webinar on professionalism in higher education. First of all, I welcome to today's eminent speaker, respected Dr. U.M.Bhushi sir, and also I welcome to respected Dr. Vilasrao Kadam sir, Director Bharati Vidyapeeth Navi Mumbai Education Complex. I welcome to our beloved principal, Dr. Sanjay Jadhav madam, and also I welcome to all the participants across the globe. We have received huge response from across the country and abroad. More than 700 participants from Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, Haryana, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Delhi, Pondicherry, Kerala, Uttarakhand, West Bengal, Goa, Manipur. We have received 5 registration from abroad, Australia, Germany, USA. It is my honor to introduce the today's eminent speaker, Dr. U.M.Bhushi sir, currently faculty and program coordinator of Industrial Engineering Technology, Higher Colleges of Technology, Abu Dhabi, Women's Campus. He is an alumnus of Indian Institute of Technology for both PhD and MTech from Industrial Engineering and Management. He has vast experience of 33 years of teaching experience and augmented with 12 years principal of various engineering colleges. He also the director for strategic planning at Sahyadri College of Engineering, Mangalore. He was in academic senate member of largest more technological university invited talks on quality management, creativity, EDP, ISO 9000, Six Sigma, IPR, learning organization, knowledge management, and many more. He has guided 5 doctorates and 2 in process. He has 89 technical publications with 4 books and 1 monogram. He has conducted workshops for principals of engineering colleges of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Maharashtra on implementation of TQM in engineering colleges. And today's webinar is an integrated version of the same. I assure you, definitely you will enjoy the session by words of wisdom of today's eminent speaker, Dr. U.M.Bhushi sir. Now, my humble request to Dr. U.M.Bhushi sir to start the session. Please, sir.
Good morning to one and all.
Good morning, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you very much.
So
At the
that
very
is
outset-
not
Yes, sir.
presentation mode.
Huh?
Kindly switch on the presentation mode.
It is in presentation mode. Just check.
Yes, yes, sir. It is in presentation mode. Yes, sir.
I think
Yes, sir,
voice
it
is
is visible
breaking.
properly.
If at any
It's
point
a-
of time you let me know if the voice you're not able to hear, please let me know and please do interrupt. Okay.
Sir, clear voice, sir.
At the
Please
very
continue.
Okay. At the very outset, let me thank the director, principal, Teli, and the management for giving me an opportunity to speak to galaxy of faculties and directors of various institutes. Now, I think everybody is in the amidst this COVID-19. More than the problem of COVID-19, I think you are all facing the problem of too many webinars, national, international, global, and so many things. You're expected to attend webinars. You're expected to conduct webinars. I understand that. But to be very frank, let me tell you, this session is going to be very, very light. Okay. It is just full of videos and some of the case studies that you see around. Okay. Therefore, I will definitely see to it that it does not become a probably stressful webinar for any one of you. I wish that you will enjoy it. Okay. I welcome all the delegates. I think the very first slide, if you look at, the title of the program is Professionalism in Higher Education. What is this professionalism? Different people have different perspectives to professionalism. It is like a blind man defining an elephant. So somebody looks at one dimension and says this is professionalism. Somebody looks at another dimension and says that is professionalism. Therefore, I have put this exactly like what happens in the movies in the beginning. They will put that all the characters in this movie are all fictitious. If anything is matching and other things so and so. Therefore, all the perspectives about professionalism in higher education are of the author alone. My perspectives only. It can be diverse, it can be different. Hence, you can add value to it. Therefore, it is only my perspective. Therefore, at the end of it, I would rather be very happy to discuss rather than debate. Because I said this is my perspective. Therefore, we are open for discussion, but not for debate. Okay. Let me go ahead. Okay. Let me take two wonderful quotes. All the world is my school and all humanity is my teacher. I think somewhere we look at what education is and what this statement is. Let me take a second important. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Slightly let us introspect what we are giving in terms of education. Is it really education? I think we all think that education is for career. Very frankly, education is not for career. Education is for life. Unfortunately, in most of our academics, we always look from the education as a career. Because we look at education as a career, the perspective of professionalism is lost. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. In between, I'll be asking so that I don't want to be lost out. I'm speaking for myself. Okay. Therefore, I would like to say educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. I will collate with respect to few stories. Okay. Let me start with the story. I think somebody has mute. Can you mute somebody? I think somebody is speaking.
Are requested to mute themselves. Kindly mute yourself.
Sir is, I think, mute. That's why we are not getting voice, any voice.
Bhushi sir, you are muted. Sir, Bhushi sir, you are muted. Hello.
Me? Hello.
Yes, sir,
now
audible.
audible, sir.
Now it's audible.
Can you see the slides?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fine. Let me start the story.
Yes, sir.
It was like this. Kindly mute and don't mute me. Okay. Okay. A parent gave a watch to his son, and the son was delighted. Since nobody had watch in the school, he took it to the school. Naturally, we want to show what I have. He showed it to everybody. The school started, and in the middle of the class, he found that his watch was being stolen. He went to the teacher and said, "Sir, I brought this watch new and it is not there. Somebody has taken it." Teacher then thought for a while and he looked at everything and no student had gone out from the class. All were there inside, except they might be in the school here and there. Then when the students came back from the washroom, he asked them, "All of you sit down." Everybody sat. He said, take out your handkerchief, tie your eyes. Everybody closed the eyes and tied. And then he went on searching everybody. He found a watch with one boy. He took out the watch and took the watch and put it into the pocket who had lost the watch. Okay. And then he asked everybody, open your handkerchief and then open your eyes. Everybody opened and the boy who had lost the watch had the watch. Okay. Class went down, and next day the boy who had stolen the watch started thinking, will I get any memo from the college? Will I be thrown out of this college? Will I be blacklisted? Hundreds of thoughts came into the boy. Okay. And will I be called by the principal today? Nothing happened on that day. He thought, okay, let me wait. For 1 week he waited. Nothing happened in the process. Classes went down, school went down. Nothing came out with respect to the process of stealing this watch. Okay. After a few days he forgot himself, and then he finished his career and started working in an industry. And after 20 years we have alumni meet, and they wanted to celebrate their 25th year of meeting, and all the students came. And by this time, they wanted to honor somebody who has achieved something great in the society. He had become CEO of a company. He was called, he was honored, and then he was asked to speak. When he was asked to speak, he stood up, he went to the teacher, and then started crying. The teacher said, I know you're meeting after 25 years. It is emotional, I can understand. He said, no, sir, it's not because of that. 25 years back, when I stole the watch, you kept that statement hidden with everybody. And in fact, if I had been exposed, I had thought of suiciding myself. Then the teacher said, oh, you are the one who took the watch? The boy was shocked. Sir, are you not knowing that I took the watch? He said, no. When I made all the boys tie their eyes, I also tied my eyes with my handkerchief. And I checked blindfolded every pocket. I don't know who had the watch. And only in the end, I know I have given it to the person who wanted it. I don't want any of my boys even to fall in my own eyes. That is what is called as professionalism. Are you getting the meaning of it? The teacher did not even look at the boy who had stolen the watch. That is what is called as, we start looking much, much beyond what is called as education. Let me go ahead with the same example. In fact, I was in an university, and there was some honoring function going on, and the guest had not come. And they said, Mr. Bhushi, why don't you become the guest for a day? I said, well, fine, no problem. I joined, and I was a guest. And in that one segment of honoring was a squad duty of examination, and one faculty was being honored that he's the one who found out maximum what are the students who were found copying, and very, very diligent, and everybody appreciated it. I was chief guest. I gave the prize to him, nothing wrong into it. Then I just asked this question to him, which college are you working? He said, I'm working in this particular college X. I said, what do you do in your laboratories and your examination? Sir, I very well know which student is going to copy. The moment he takes out his chit, I catch him. I said, that is not called as teaching profession. You're supposed to see to it the child doesn't copy. That is your greatness. Great, you're not here to do a policing, you know. If you are a policeman, I can understand. But you are a teacher, your intent is to such that can you bring in a culture where students don't copy? That should be the professionalism. Professionalism is not in catching somebody who is doing a mistake. Professionalism is making a student not to make a mistake. So this story of stolen watch is a wonderful meaning. I mean, I said in the beginning, the session, am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir. You're audible and clear, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay. So the perspective here, I said in the beginning that my views with respect to professionalism might differ, but my focus is in the end, is education serving its purpose? Okay. Einstein said it is the supreme art of teacher to awaken the joy in creative expression. Are we giving that creative expression by the child on the site? Or is he able to express it creatively, the knowledge? Is he able to express creatively the wisdom of it? In most cases, we are missing out on that. Can we bring this professionalism? Let me give some more examples of professionalism. Okay. And this happened, in fact, I stay in one of the colonies, and since I was a principal, 3 of the parents came and met me. They were not engineering. They were very small. They were having the small kids. Sir, my kids don't want to go to school. I don't know what is the problem. And all the 3 were having the same problem. Then I asked, are there any children in this building who are liking to go to school? They said 3-4 students, these 3 kids, they want to go to school, they enjoy it. But these 3 children don't want to go to school. I think the problem is with our housewives. They don't encourage the children. The blame was put onto the mother, in fact. I was just smiling. I said, okay, that is your perspective. I will start looking at it from a different end. If 3 children in this building are going to the school happily and these 3 are not going, what is the difference? It is not the question of the mother who is not encouraging. It is not the question that mothers are beating them and sending. No, something else. And all these 3 children said, we will go to school from the other one, other road, not this road. Okay. What happened was there is 2 buses going from this. One was speaking from this house. Another bus was going in the other end. And the children wanted to go to that bus and catch it. I said, the problem is not with children. The problem is not with the mother. The problem is with the bus driver. How many of our I'm just giving an example of what I've seen. Okay. All bus drivers, many of them are very good. Okay. Some cases are there here and there. Okay. The bus driver who was stopping in front of our house was very serious. He never smiled at the parents. He never smiled at the kids. And the fellow who was trying to put the kids into the bus was like a robot, just take them and put it into it. There was no interaction between the boy and the bus driver. In fact, I observed 2-3 times the child is at the other end of the road. Before he could come this side, the bus had gone. Don't you have patience for half a minute? Don't you have the empathy? I was telling the children will enjoy the school not because of the teachers. First thing is, are the drivers bringing the school with the happiness? The children with whom 3 were going, they were going in a van. The driver of the van used to give them chocolates. The driver of the van was telling, this weekend we'll have some party. Wow. Don't you, under that case, they go to the van telling that uncle. They don't go with telling that he's a driver. That is professionalism. Somewhere if you look into watchmen of the gate, probably watchmen are meant to just push the students in there, go and sit inside. Yeah. Can the watchman make the education environment pleasing? The moment they see a watchman, the children should start running to him. That is professionalism. He may not teach, but can he make the children come to the institution with a smile? That is professionalism. I'll just take this video. I wish when I play a video, please let me know if you are hearing or not hearing. Can you hear the song?
मैं मेरे नगर वड़नगर से कभी कभी ट्रेन के अंदर विसनगर जाया करता था। एक 12-15 साल का किशोर जिसको पोलियो बच्चे का शरीर काम नहीं कर रहा था, मुश्किल से ट्रेन के अंदर चढ़ गया। उस गंदे कपड़े थे, भिक्षुक जैसा लगता था, लेकिन वो भीख नहीं मांगता था और हर किसी के पास जाकर के वो रिक्वेस्ट करता था मुझे बूट पॉलिश करने के लिए दीजिए। और उस समय 10-15 पैसे में बूट पॉलिश होती थी और लोग कभी दया भाव के कारण, कभी करुणा के भाव के कारण उससे अपना जूतों की पॉलिश करवाते होंगे। लेकिन मैंने देखा पॉलिश वाले करने वाले बहुत देखे थे, लेकिन इस बच्चे की तरफ मेरा ध्यान गया। मैं देख रहा था क्या कर रहा है। उसने क्या किया, अपने गंदे टूटे फूटे झोले में से उस दिन का टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया निकाला और उस पर लिखा था, ग्राहक के प्रति उसने लिखा था कि आज का दिन बहुत ही शुभ हो, आपकी यात्रा शुभ हो, आपके सारे काम सिद्ध हो। अंग्रेजी में उसने एक छोटा वाक्य लिखा था। और जैसे ही उसने जूते दिए पॉलिश करने के लिए, तो इसने उनके हाथ में टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया पकड़ा दिया। उस ग्राहक को भी लगा कि 10 पैसे में पॉलिश हो रही है और 1 रुपए का अखबार पढ़ने को मिल जाता है। इस घटना को मैं देख रहा था, तो मैंने उस बालक को पूछा, मैंने कहा, भाई तुम हो कौन? बोले, मैं कर्नाटक का हूं, कोई परिवार में है नहीं, मेरी शरीर की हालत अच्छी नहीं है, लेकिन मैं सम्मान से जीना चाहता हूं, इसलिए मैं यहाँ पहुंच गया हूं, करते करते काम कर रहा हूं। और बोले, मैं लोगों की सबसे अधिक सेवा करना चाहता हूं। बोले, हर दिन सुबह एक टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया खरीद लेता हूं और दिन भर में 25-30 लोगों की जब पॉलिश करता हूं, 5 मिनट 7 मिनट पॉलिश करता हूं, उतनी देर वो अखबार पढ़ लेते हैं और मुझे आशीर्वाद भी देते हैं, पैसे भी देते हैं। मैंने इस दृश्य को देखा, तब मुझे गीता पूरी तरह समझ आ गई। मुझे लगा इसको कहते हैं योग कर्मशु कौशलम। पॉलिश करने वाले काम को उसने योग बना करके जिस प्रकार से उसमें प्रोफेशनलिज्म ला करके काम किया था, और यही तो योग कर्मशु कौशलम है, जो जिंदगी को जोड़ देता है, कार्य में जीवन को जोक देता है। वो यौगिक अवस्था को प्राप्त करके जीवन में एक अद्भुत अनुभूति का एहसास करता है।
Did you get the meaning of it? Did you enjoy that video? Please interact.
Yes, sir. Enjoy.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What did you observe in that is, we are trying to bring in professionalism in the work. If you cannot bring in that professionalism in terms of making some people enjoy, as a bus driver, as a watchman, if I'm able to make children enjoy to come to the school, my job, I have done it professionally well. It's not just counting. The moment I would rather be very happy, the drivers who pick this, I think entire your education process starts the moment you get into the bus. At that stage, are you enjoying it? Let me give one more example of my own daughter. Very good in swimming, but she said, I will not go to swimming. She started hating swimming just because the coach was a bit harsh. Maybe he's wrong, he's right, but you cannot expect everyone to be some student. I think if you ask my elder daughter, she needs that. If you're given a thrash, she'll do exceedingly well. The second daughter, if you motivate, she'll do well. That means the perspective is different. Perspective of one elder daughter is different. Perspective of younger daughter is different. Can you feel that and bring in your process? That is professional. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Let me talk about where I was a principal in Maharashtra itself. I just thought, let me take 2 examples from there so that you'll start enjoying it also. On the screen, what you see is Survey. He is an accountant in the college. Okay. And one day I was playing basketball, and then coming out, he entered the gate of the campus, very dull, not somehow he was not in moods. Then actually I'd heard that his sister was not well. I thought really something serious might have happened in the house. I stopped my basketball and put my hand on him and then asked, Survi, how are you? He said, Sab theek hai, sir. Everything is fine. How is your sister? I asked. Sir, she is very fine. No problem. She has recovered and treatment was nice. Diagnosis was correct. She is absolutely fit and fine. Then I was shocked. Are your sister is recovered? She is fit and fine. Why are your face is dull? Do you know what answer he gave? He said, sir, and that was somewhere in February first week. Okay. Normally in the first week you are expected to deliver salary. He said, sir, this time, as you know, in February, March, April is the peak period for the management wherein it is difficult for them to pay the salaries and other things. They have to manage everything. Sir, paise bahut kam hai. It is very difficult to manage the salary of this month. I said, Your accountant, what you can do, if the management and principal work together, they have to work. What is there your responsibility? Nice, sir. As an accountant, I feel the faculties teaching and non-teaching come to me with the intent that I pay them money. They look at me as a person who is paying them money. Therefore, it is my responsibility to see to it that there are funds available. That is called professionalism. I don't think so any accountant would really go to the extent, I am just taking the signature, okay, so salary is paid, you sign here and then go. He's not doing that. You're such far beyond what is called as why should an accountant think in terms of salary perspective where the money is going to be accumulated? Then again, I just continued my talk with him. Suraj, then tell me what can be done. What is there, He gave me 6 solutions where funds are available. From which fixed deposit you can withdraw money. From VICT, this money is blocked, what you can do. He gave me 6 options. Is he expected to do it? In fact, I would say it was my responsibility, but he did it. The accountant, as accountant, he felt my role is not just keeping track of accounts. My role, my end objective is the outcome of this one is the faculty, teaching, non-teaching, every employee gets a salary. Am I doing that? That is called professionalism. Hats off to him. In fact, my perspective of looking at professionalism has come more through the employees than anybody else. Okay, let me give one more example of Germany taxi and then come back to the middle one. My friend is in vice president HR of a big company and quite more often is outside than in India. Okay, we had a meeting and then get together. I was just discussing what is the interesting things we have seen here and there. He gave an example of one in Germany. He went to Germany for a meeting. He finished the meeting and then next day he was supposed to travel. And being vice president, I think in foreign countries, once your job is done, nobody wants to take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. Okay. Next day morning, he was supposed to leave at 4:30. Okay. And one of the colleagues asked, sir, I can't help you to drop, but I got some work. He said, don't worry, I will take care of myself. Okay. And then he booked a taxi at 4:30 and the taxi came. But at that point of time, my friend realized that one document was there in the office which he was supposed to carry to India. He told the driver, can you drive to the office and then from office to airport, it is going to take extra 30 minutes. The driver said, so sorry, sir, I really can't help you in this regard. He said, I'm ready to pay money. Sir, it's not the question of money, but somehow you have booked the taxi from here to airport. I really cannot take you to your office. He said, no problem. He just sent a message to the another office people to send it by courier and then drove down to the airport. When he got down at the airport and he was taking out the luggage, driver said, mark my words very carefully. Driver said, sir, don't mistake my country and me. I repeat, don't mistake my country, he's in Germany, and me, because I committed myself to you at 4:30. 4 o'clock, my wife died. The dead body is at home. Therefore, I could not take you to your office. But my commitment to you between your lodge and the airport is there. It will continue to be there. Therefore, I could not take you that extra. Please don't feel bad about my country. Imagine what is professionalism now. You are not talking of your driving process from one to another. You're talking of the country as a whole. He always said his first statement was, don't mistake my country because of this one. And in fact, if this incident had, in fact, my friend was feeling so bad. Oh, if your wife has died at 4 o'clock, what is the need for you to come and pick me from hotel to and drop me to the airport? No, sir, that's my commitment. That is what we call professionalism. Hello, am I audible? That is professionalism. Okay.
Yes.
Audible,
Yes, you are
audible.
audible.
Okay. Are you in tune with me? What is the context? Others? Other audience, are you in tune with the context of the topic? Okay. So what is important here in this is that is professionalism. Hello. I think somewhere in between audience can kindly mute themselves. Okay. Now, let me come to the third example of what professionalism entails. I've just posted in between a hotel bill. Okay. Nothing great about it, but for me, what professionalism is can be from that bill. Okay. When I was in IIT Kharagpur, we went to Darjeeling. I think I went to Darjeeling only for the first time, and we stayed in a hotel. And then we used to have a food in some hotel, some other hotel. Lodging was in another part. Okay. In the where we ate food, okay, the manager used to write a bill. You can look at the bill now. First line, Mr. Umesh and party. I never told my name was Umesh. How do you find when a bill is personally addressed in your name? Are you not excited, delighted? Of course, you have to pay the bill. That is secondary. But the professionalism is he has written your name without knowing it. Secondly, the handwriting is so beautiful. He can as well type this bill on the computer. He doesn't type it on the own computer. He writes it with his own handwriting because he knows the pleasure of looking at a bill with the beautiful handwriting is different. You're excited. Oh, what a wonderful handwriting. I have this bill being framed in my house till today. My daughter and wife will always be grumbling, what is that you framed in this? Okay. Earlier I used to carry this, but now I have taken a snapshot and then showing it. Last, he writes, we are indeed delighted by your presence. He writes a quotation on every bill. Anybody can write. I just take a book and then write. No, when you write a quotation, the psychology of the person who is receiving the bill and the quotation, this one, exactly are alike. Oh, exactly. Most of the customers felt, oh, this quotation actually fits for me, fits my psychology, fits my family. Okay, that's 2110. Normally, when you go to an unknown place, you don't like to change the hotel. You want to stick to the same hotel because you're afraid that if you go to some third hotel, you'll be duped. Okay, we went in the same hotel. There was one wonderful table laid and it was written booked with flowers into it. I know in all big cities, big people will always book and then go. We, as a common man, I said, I took my family to a corner and then sat. The manager came running. Sir, please come and have your seat here. I said, I not booked this one. I think you got confused and I never booked it for you. He said, no, sir, I have booked it for you. I said, how do you know I'm coming? I said, sir, 100% sure I was confident that you'll come here. That's why I booked it for you. I was so happy that somebody is booking, what is it, this one, and that wonderfully laid table with flowers. Okay. And then I sat, I was looking at the menu card. He said, can I have the menu card for 2 minutes? I said, sir, I've come to eat food. He said, sir, have patience for 2 minutes. Then I gave the menu card back. He clapped his hands. One waiter came with the cake and then he kept in front of me. He said, sir, today is your day. Please cut the cake for me. This bill is 2110. Next day is 2210. 2210 is my date of birth. In fact, never ever in my life my parents celebrated my birthday, nor even my friends. I think nowadays it is a common feature, but we never think as a day of celebration. But unknown place, somebody is celebrating my birthday. How do you feel? I was so delighted. Okay. My daughter then was around 4.5 years. Okay. And she never ate anything in the hotel except that somp, what you put in pan. She was only eating that. Okay. And then after we completed the dinner, he brought 2 packets of somp and gave it to my daughter and said, enjoy your journey tomorrow. Now my question is, why is he doing all these things? He can type the bill on the computer. He's not doing it. Wonderful handwriting. He is writing my name. So can anybody celebrate somebody else's birthday? Yeah, he's celebrating my birthday. That is called professionalism. You look beyond. And when I completed that dinner and then I was telling, I just asked him, how do you know I'm not coming tomorrow? He said, sir, tomorrow you'll not come. Tomorrow, any common people will come and see the Darjeeling for 2 days and they go to Gangtok. And in fact, we were going to Gangtok. That is the intensity of psychology with which Saroj was working. That is called professionalism. Professionalism as a manager, nothing, you can just type the bill and send it. No. He wants to, even when you pay the bill, you're happy to pay the bill. You enjoy paying the bill. You're delighted to pay the bill. That is called professionalism. Can that be brought in education? Okay. One more example. I think this again with respect to Devruk itself, my previous call, I'm in the first place where I entered as a principal. Okay. What is professionalism? I said I will only give examples what I've seen. I was being taken care by Ramesh. You might call attender, but I don't feel like to use the word attender for him. Okay, in general, I don't want to use an attender. Ramesh was my caretaker. Okay, and when I joined the institute, I just told them for 15 days, I would just like to go around the campus here and there. Don't treat me as principal, nor I would like to treat you as employees. I would just like to have a casual go around the entire campus, feeling the campus first. And that I told in a meeting and everybody said, okay, sir, no problem. Okay. This Ramesh did not know any language other than Marathi. I didn't know Marathi. I knew everything. I can speak English, Hindi very well, but I didn't know Marathi. And obviously he knows Marathi and I don't know Marathi. So you can understand the gap. Okay. 4 days he observed me very, very carefully. First thing what he observed was this principal is a computer savvy, because the moment I get into the campus, first thing is I was switching on the computer and then going to my Gmail to check the mails. Okay. So that computer had a flaw. I was supposed to press escape 3 times. He observed that I was pressing escape 3 times. On the 4th day, when I went, my computer was on, escape all were done and login details were there. Except password, everything was being set. Wow. I never told anything. You can imagine the perspective with which he is working. Okay. And then he knew one thing, that principal has got a wonderful forgetfulness property. I used to forget my specs, mobile, book, everything. Okay. Now what happened was he knew that principal doesn't have memory property. Therefore, before I used to leave, he used to call 15 minutes before. He used to call my house. Okay, quarters there. Maid used to pick the call and then say, used to say, "Saab ka chashma, saab ka mobile, book, kuch hai," and newspapers. Sub laptop bag mein dal ke bhej. That means he was trying to remind everything to that maid. Okay. I never said anything. Huh? He's doing it himself by observing me. And one day when he called, I picked the call because maid was outside. And then when I spoke to him, I said, okay, don't worry. I could understand what he wanted. I also conveyed that I'll bring it. Though Marathi was not this one, I could just get the meaning of what he wanted to say. Hello. When I went to the office, there was hot water. There was ginger. This one slices kept in a plate with salt. I asked Ramesh, what is this? Ramesh said, sir, when I was talking to you over phone, I found your voice was hoarse. Voice had a problem. I think you needed hot water and ginger. So I kept hot water and ginger. So throughout the day, I'll be giving you hot water and ginger. I never said I had this one. That is called feeling for it. Okay. And I think all of you, since you're all in Maharashtra, this part where I was coming from is from Ratnagiri. Ratnagiri is famous for Alfonso mangoes. Okay. So I told, bring me Alfonso mangoes, whichever is good around, I'll not be able to choose. You bring me and I'll pay for it. Okay. He brought mangoes and then gave it to my house. Okay. Normally, whenever you give something to somebody, you expect some, comments. What is the feedback of that? Once the seminar is over, I want a feedback. What is it? So he also wanted that I have given mangoes. How are the mangoes? He wanted the feedback from my family. Next day, he asked my family, Madam, aam kaise the? In Marathi only used to ask. My wife knew Marathi. My wife only said, please ask your boss. She said, ask me. Then you're surprised. I have given wonderful mangoes, good or bad. She can tell me why she is asking me to go and ask Saab. Okay. Just see the thinking process. When will you not eat mangoes? It means she has not eaten mangoes. If she had eaten mangoes, she would have told, but she's not commenting because she must not have eaten. She was diabetic and she had not eaten mangoes. She did not tell that she's diabetic. Next day morning, Ramesh came with jamun, a fruit which is meant for diabetic people. She said, Madam, aapke liye. I mean, you see in the entire process, nowhere have I said any problem, but all problems are solved before anything. Or even when someday when my family was not there, breakfast was arranged from the canteen. Okay, he knew what I will eat and what I will not eat, what I hate eating. I hate eating oil. Okay, he brought items which didn't contain oil and then he kept it in the room. And then he said, sir, please have your breakfast and tea. And then he used to lock the door. Let anybody come to the door. Saab nahi hai office mein. Saab bahar gaye. In fact, chairman came. To the chairman, he said, Saab round pe gaye. He has gone round the campus. Why? When you are eating, you have to eat. You cannot mix up your office work and eating. That is professionalism. Never ever I said any context of requirement of mine, but he fulfilled all the things without asking me. That is professionalism. He knows if this institution has to run professionally well, I have to be very comfortable. If I am comfortable, how I can be comfortable? I need to take care of it. My responsibility is meant to see to it that this person is comfortable so that he can do a job well. Now, can you observe this two contexts of Survey and Ramesh here? Never ever any communication went. In fact, once there was a meeting in Mumbai and I had called, another principal of S.R.Thakare, and in the process I said, I download, take a printout and come. 5:30 when I was leaving my office, he asked, sir, आप कुछ download वगैरह बोल रहे थे, print वगैरह बोल रहे थे. In fact, I had not taken a printout, I had not downloaded it. You can see what is his alertness with respect to the work. That is professionalism. Can you bring this? Why we look at it is, if you take it as a job, if his responsibility is only job, whatever I tell, if he does, I think I would have been very happy. But he did not think that is a job. Job was saying to it that I am most comfortable to execute my work. Therefore, I don't address him as a attender. I can only call him as my personal caretaker. Okay. And in fact, on the day when I left the institute, I think normally a send-off will be there, and I was given a wonderful send-off thanks to the institute. They still allow me. And on that day, I called the two people. This another person was there. I'll not give the example. I don't have time. And then I put them onto the dais, and whatever was offered to me, I offered them. I put the mala on them. I said, if people like him are there in any institutions, okay, any organization for that matter, the perspective of professionalism will be understood by everyone. That is professionalism. Okay. Let me take one more interesting dimension with respect to the education and then go a stage ahead in terms of what is called professionalism. Are you all in tune with me? Are you hearing me first?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you seeing the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Some feedback here and there. I just want to see. Okay, I can take a break in the process itself. Okay, now this is a wonderful bridge of Honduras. Okay, Honduras is known for very high winds and hurricanes. Okay, very, very high, and therefore robustness of everything has to be there. They had a bridge, but like we have a ring road and outer ring road, they also wanted to have one more bridge like outer ring road connecting this onto this one. Okay, Choltaka. This was called as Choltaka Bridge. Okay, Japanese were given the contract, and Japanese did a wonderful job for 2 years and then constructed the bridge fantastically. Okay, suspension bridge was done. Okay, executed professionally well, and then it was inaugurated and people started utilizing it, and everybody was happy with the government that it has saved a lot of distance, saved time, everything. And as usual, high winds and hurricanes came, and that year was very, very severe. I don't know the name of the hurricane. They have named some hurricane name for it, but it was so heavy that it wiped away almost everything in and around this city. Okay, when it wiped away, nothing happened to the bridge. Bridge was intact. Nothing happened to the bridge. We all thought, what a professional work of Japanese. What happened? This is the bridge now. When the heavy hurricanes came, they wiped away all the roads approaching it. Nothing is there. You can see anything is there. This side nothing, this side nothing. And unfortunately, the river course which was going underneath here, because of hurricane, even it got diverted. Now you don't see any river. If anybody sees this, I think what is it doing it? How this bridge can come into picture? That is where I call education system is all about. You end up with certificates, you end up with degrees, and okay, this is the hot topic, you study for it intensely, and after 4 years or 3 years, whatever is your degree, and come up, and you find nowhere that entire education perspective is nowhere related. Why? It is like this bridge was built to last. It was not built to adapt. Likewise, can your education process be so robust enough so that it can facilitate adoption of any of the degrees? That's where, if you look into the long sight of what is called as professionalism, this problem would not occur. Therefore, this is a classic example of describing an education system across anything. Okay, so most of us will land up with many degrees, certificates, and everything. At the end of it, okay, you started with artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything. After 4 years, no machine learning, no artificial intelligence, nothing. No? Something else takes over. Best example, COVID-19. How many of us, I think many of the top people brought in their offices, and then now what happens to the offices? All people are working from home. Okay, what is the inference? Oh, even from home you are able to contribute, then why should you come to the office? You're taking 2 hours to come and 2 hours to go. Under that case, what is the perspective? You're doing a much better job. I think many of companies now thought, why should I have a huge investment of capital on hiring? I mean, having a, what is it, building in metros? Probably that concept probably would be rooted out. So now under that case, we'll be like Honduras Bridge. We are expected to see to it that it is meant to adapt. Education process is meant to adapt. Are we doing that? Let me play a video. Once I play, please let me know whether you're able to see it or not, and sound. Somebody from the admin office, please tell me. Okay, I'll start the video.
Yes, sir.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Audible, please.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating, but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about holistic business model. The opportunity is to be liquid, to learn just in time, not just in case, not single improvements, but complete transformations, not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. We will engage, relate, and buy things because of the experiences they provide, because of their transformative power. The future doesn't just happen, the future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Let's live and lead from here.
Okay. I think very important thing which was spoken in the video is we are looking at technology as only just one. Most of us feel in education that technology is the essence of it. But he spoke something else. He spoke of creativity. He spoke of ethics. He talked in terms of humanity. All these dimensions are never a part of your education. But in the long-term perspective of life, they form the very essence of ecosystem. We are not trying to look at that ecosystem which is forming at the end of it. Therefore, he very, very specifically highlighted that technology, yes, to some extent, yes, but what cannot be digitized is your ethics. What cannot be digitized is your humanity. Let me give an example of humanity here. Okay, this happened in Hyderabad. There was a race of 100 meters and the race started, ready, steady, go, and he hit the button and then all the children started running. Okay. After a few moments, one of the child fell down. Okay. All the students, kids who were running forward stopped, came back, picked up this child who was there, who had fallen down. All of them together reached the 100 meters race. All these kids were mentally handicapped kids. Can you imagine? If so-called mentally handicapped children can think in terms of this process, probably we being 100% normal, to what extent we need to think? We need to be far beyond that. Therefore, what is said in that video is you cannot digitize empathy. You cannot digitize humanity. You cannot digitize ethics. You cannot digitize creativity. All these dimensions come from the perspective of your professionalism. Education becomes one-sided. I think Einstein said everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live whole life that it's stupid. A wonderful video. I'll show you next. Please, again, when I play the video, please tell me whether you're able to hear sound or not. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Here I go.
Albert Einstein once said,
Being an audible, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
but if a fish by tea to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today on trial we have modern day schooling. Glad you could come. Not only does he make fish climb trees, but also makes them climb down and do a 10-mile run. Tell me, school, are you proud of the things you've done? Turning millions of people into robots, do you find that fun? Do you realize how many kids relate to that fish swimming upstream in class, never finding their gifts, thinking they are stupid, believing they are useless? Well, the time has come, no more excuses. I call school to the stand and accuse him of killing creativity, individuality, and being intellectually abusive. He's an ancient institution that has outlived his usage. So, Your Honor, this concludes my opening statement, and if I may present the evidence of my case, I will prove it.
Proceed.
Exhibit A. Here's a modern day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today. And here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today. And here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now, ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed. Yet you claim to prepare students for the future? But with evidence like that, I must ask, do you prepare students for the future or the past? I did a background check on you and let the record show that you were made to train people to work in factories, which explains why you put students in straight rows, nice and neat, tell them sit still, raise your hand if you want to speak, give them a short break to eat, and for 8 hours a day, tell them what to think. Oh, and make them compete to get an A letter which determines product quality, hence grade A of meat. I get it. Back then, times were different. We all have a past. I myself am no Gandhi. But today, we don't need to make robot zombies. The world has progressed. And now we need people who think creatively, innovatively, critically, independently, with the ability to connect. See, every scientist will tell you that no two brains are the same. And every parent with 2 or more children will confirm that claim. So please explain why you treat students like cookie cutter frames or snapback hats, giving them this one-size-fits-all crap.
Watch your language.
Sorry, Your Honor, but if a doctor prescribed the exact same medicine to all of his patients, the results will be tragic. So many people will get sick, yet when it comes to school, this is exactly what happens. This educational malpractice, where one teacher stands in front of 20 kids, each one having different strengths, different needs, different gifts, different dreams, and you teach the same thing the same way? That's horrific. Ladies and gentlemen, the defendant should not be acquitted. This may be one of the worst criminal offenses ever to be committed. And let's mention the way you treat your employees.
Objection. Overruled. I want to hear this.
It's a shame. I mean, teachers have the most important job on the planet, yet they're underpaid? No wonder so many students are short-changed. Let's be honest. Teachers should earn just as much as doctors, because a doctor can do heart surgery and save the life of a kid, but a great teacher can reach the heart of that kid and allow him to truly live. See, teachers are heroes that often get blamed, but they're not the problem. They work in a system without many options or rights. Curriculums are created by policymakers, most of which have never taught a day in their life. Just obsessed with standardized tests. They think bubbling in a multiple choice question will determine success. That's outlandish. In fact, these tests are too cruel to be used and should be abandoned, but don't take my word for it. Take Frederick J. Kelly, the man who invented standardized testing, who said, and I quote, "These tests are too cruel to be used and should be abandoned." Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if we continue down this road, the results will be lethal. I don't have much faith in school, but I do have faith in people. And if we can customize healthcare, cars, and Facebook pages, then it is our duty to do the same for education. mission to upgrade and change and do away with school spirit, because that's useless unless we're working to bring the spirit out of each and every student. That should be our task. No more Common Core. Instead, let's reach the core of every heart in every class. Sure, math is important, but no more than art or dance. Let's give every gift an equal chance. I know this sounds like a dream, but countries like Finland are doing impressive things. They have shorter school days, teachers make a decent wage, homework is non-existent, and they focus on collaboration instead of competition. But here's the kicker, boys and girls. Their educational system outperforms every other country in the world. Other places like Singapore are succeeding rapidly. Schools like Montessori, programs like Khan Academy, there is no single solution. But let's get moving, because while students may be 20% of our population, they are 100% of our future. So let's attend to their dreams, and there's no telling what we can achieve. This is a world in which I believe, a world where fish are no longer forced to climb trees. I'll rest my case.
I think probably the speed of the delivery was quite fast. Language was this one, but if you look at the essence of the meaning of it was we need to revamp education. We want to revamp the education process. When you do that, unless you look at the end intent of professionalism that is expected to be delivered, it cannot come into the process. Okay, let me give an example. I think since many of you are faculty, senior faculty, can you identify this tennis player? Anybody?
Anna Kournikova.
Anna Kournikova. Okay, Anna Kournikova. Now, when she stepped into the tennis, everybody said, whatever the records are being created by Steffi Graf, Martina Navratilova, Martina Hingis, all those things will be broken by this young lad, because she has started quite early. But did she make an impact? Probably was the question. You will never feel that she made an impact till the end, though in the initial stages she did, but she could not sustain. You cannot play today's games with the yesterday's tricks. She continued with the same old tricks, and probably it was too late for her to change, or she did not change. The result was seen that she could not really make an impact what she did at the age of a kid. Somewhere she missed the bus. Let me take another example. Since we have started with tennis, I will take another example of Becker and Andre Agassi. When Becker stepped into the tennis, okay, I don't know how many of you know when he won the Wimbledon, okay, I think the junior title was more senior than the senior title holder. You know, he did compete against the highest one. Okay, now when Becker started this, I think the question of aces coming into the tennis totally figured in a different way. Andre Agassi could not do anything with respect to his services for first 3 years. Yes, but after 3 years, that is a different story. What happened? I think he disclosed it very recently, but had he disclosed earlier, probably Becker would have been different then. Okay, what is that Andre Agassi disclosed was, if this is your tennis court, okay, Boris Becker is serving here, okay, his aces were pitch here and then go out, pitch here and then go out, or pitch so slowly that you're not in a position to reach it. So in most cases, it ended up as an ace. Andre Agassi recently declared that after 2.5 years, the same Becker, when he served, though was powerful, he could negate everything. How could he do that? He said, on the verge of when Becker was serving, if the eye is towards left, that means the ball is going to pitch here and then go out. If the eye is on this end, it will pitch here and then go out. If the eye was neither this side or this side, it was just straight, it means it was going to be a slow this one. So on the last moment when he looked at the eyes, based on the eyes, he used to move either this side, or come forward and re-get it. That is called as dynamism. Are you in a position to understand when it comes to education, just not the end objective of the current focus of 3 years or 4 years, where is he going to deliver? Can you feel that? Okay. Now, what is the fundamental flaw? I think he very rightly described in the previous, this one. It has been brought into some theoretical concepts, okay? Only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Please slightly go deeper into the perspective. Only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Okay. Now there is a video. I'm not sure whether you'll be, when I play this here, you'll be able to see it. I will switch over from PowerPoint to and then come back. It might take a minute. Just hold on for this one. Just hold down for a minute, please. Can you see it? Were you able to see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, I'll play it now.
Sir, only sound is coming. Video is not on, sir.
Sir, you need to share other screen, I think.
Hello? Yeah.
Sir. Video is not seen, sir.
Sound? Huh?
Only hearing sound, sir, but not visible. Yes. Video is not visible, sir.
Not visible.
Sound is visible, sir. Audible. Sound is audible. Sir, you have to share the video, sir.
I'm sharing the video. 1 second. I'll just open that first. 1 second. Hold on for a minute. Sorry for the interruption. Can you see this one now?
Laws in the education system.
Yes,
No
sir. Playing and audible.
No creativity. Children are stressed. And the list goes on. All these are symptoms. But what is the root cause to all this? What is the fundamental flaw in the education system? Let us play a rapid-fire game. You have 1 second to answer every question. Let's start. First question. A4? Okay, no more questions. Did you think apple first? 98% of people are most likely to think so. Because that was what we were told in our kindergarten. Imagine that this was done differently. Say we had asked you for all the words starting with A. Ant, ace, April, apt. Different answers would have popped out of everyone's head. Do you see where the problem is? Before children start going to school, every child is unique. Every child thinks different. But the education system makes every child think the same. This is the fundamental flaw in the education system. Why did this start? During the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, the education system was designed to make children ready to work in factories. The factories did not require people to think, but to only work like robots. So, the education system stripped children of their freedom to think and destroyed their true potential. The same education system continues even today. Only the industries have changed. A study by NASA shows that 98% of children think different before they start going to school. As they go through this education system, at 25 years of age, only 2% think different and 98% think the same. So how does the education system make every child the same? Let's go back to the apple example. Kindergarten lessons told us that A is for apple. We asked you for words that start with A. Our education system gave us the answers. We asked you a question. Answers make you the same. Questions make you different. Right from kindergarten, the education system keeps giving answers. Instead of asking children how plants make food, the science teacher gives you the definition of photosynthesis. Instead of asking them to describe the sun, the teacher tells them that the sun is a ball of fire at the center of the solar system. Through their years in school, children lose the capability to think on their own. Whether it is their choice of career or their relationship or any situation in life, they become dependent on others for answers. They completely lose their true nature and their extraordinary potential remains unrealized. Now, we face 1,000,000 problems in the world for which we are only awaiting answers. So, what is the solution? We need an education system that recognizes that every child is different and is questioning based so that it brings out the extraordinary human potential in every child. Dream for the Child is a nationwide movement which calls upon every teacher, every parent, every educator, every policymaker.
One second, I'm shifting over to the PowerPoint. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. When you observe the video, I think two important things that need to be highlighted here is just this quote exactly maps with what that video is, and the quote of what Einstein said, the only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. I think we all tripped their creativity. Okay, so it does, the fact that is given the challenges we face in education doesn't need reformation, it needs transformation. You're standardizing education, but it needs to be personalized. This is what was being told long back, to build upon discovering the individual talents of each child and to put students in an environment where they want to learn and they can naturally discover their true passions. Okay, because this is being done, somewhere we find that professionalism is getting lost because they have not been tuned towards that. Okay, so let me just touch upon a few of the slides which were being told and then facts of the things. Okay, a world survey was conducted and this was across all the fraternity, all the categories across the entire globe. They were asked to write 10 memorable events of last 1 year. And they were also asked top 5 memorable events of last 1 month. Same question. One was for an year, one was for 5 memorable events of last 1 month. This was conducted across the entire globe. Unfortunately, in this 10 memorable events of last 1 year or 5 memorable events of last 1 month, nothing figured with respect to work, except work, everything else figured out. That means we don't enjoy work. Why we don't enjoy work is that professionalism is missing with respect to that perspective. And in fact, in that survey, when it was conducted, the conclusion given in the one of the statement was even women folk did not emphasize in terms of laboring as an memorable event of the life. And that was what was very critically being analyzed. Okay, that means we are missing the bus somewhere else. Okay, and Abdul Kalam in his convocation address said the difference between the past and the old and now is earlier the difference between the teacher and taught was high. significant knowledge difference was there between the teacher and the taught. Now the students are exposed to so much amount of internet information. Okay, they have information. I cannot say they have knowledge. They have information. The gap between the teacher and taught is less in most cases, and in some cases it is some equal. In a few cases, he said, the students have more information than what we have. Under that case, the challenge for all of us educationists is in terms of not just the content of your education perspective of knowledge. Your role is more on how do you convert this information to knowledge, knowledge to wisdom. This transformation from information to knowledge and knowledge to wisdom is what we look in terms of what is called as the professionalism. Okay, and somewhere what are the things we have left out as the fraternity of teaching is the next one is what is called as the power of subconscious mind. I don't know, I mean, if you have observed the javelin throw which is going on in any Olympics, when javelin throw is going on, just you'll find that people are throwing shot put at the back. You'll be wondering, this is a javelin throw, or maybe the next event that is going to follow is shot put. It's not the case. Actually, what happens is the people who want to throw javelin just hold the shot put for few seconds, just make a short throw, and then come back and hold the javelin. Earlier, when they are holding shot put and then they hold a javelin, they feel, oh, it's so light. The moment you know it is so light, extra 1 feet. Same people, same environment, everything is the same, but it has gone an extra meter. Why? Your subconscious mind is triggered to tell you that it is very light. The moment your subconscious mind says it is light, you are throwing 1 meter extra. Your subconscious believes what you feed in. Are we trying to build in that subconscious mind of the students? If you can do that, I think one best example which transformed could be your JFK, John F. Kennedy. How he became a president, okay, was John F. Kennedy was like any other ordinary student. Okay, he was going to college. Okay, in that college, once students decided that we'll go on a strike. The strike was decided like this, that we will all come to the college tomorrow. College will start. At the stroke of 10, we'll all get up and then go to the strike, so that all the students will be there in the campus and it makes an impact, was one of the understanding. Fantastic idea. Next day the college started and first period went on. At 10 o'clock, the strike was supposed to resume. Idea was good, but who is the first one to get up? In the class, everybody is sitting, everybody was looking left and right, one who can get up and walk out. John F. Kennedy got up and then went out. Everybody followed him and then said, what a great leader, what a great leader, what a great leader. He's the one to get up and then go. In fact, on that, John F. Kennedy did not know what is happening in the college. On the previous day, he had not come to the college. He didn't know there is going to be a strike in the college on that day. At 10 o'clock, he had a nature call, and which you could not control, had to rush to the toilet. And he rushed to the toilet, but people think that he has taken the leadership, and everybody started calling him leader. What a great leader, what a great leader. When everybody starts triggering your subconscious mind that you're a great leader, you're a great leader, it transformed himself into become a president. That's why he has written the, my destiny of becoming my president was written in the toilet. Because of that only everybody started. So as educationists, to what extent are we triggering the subconscious mind? As parents, to what extent are we triggering the subconscious mind of the child? If that can be done, and in the process of triggering the subconscious mind, don't just talk of what is the current context. In the future, your objective is he becomes a good human being. Can that be triggered? If that can be triggered, probably your professionalism will work out very, very fast. Somewhere we are missing in terms of not triggering the subconscious mind of this. Okay. I will not just, I think I have just half an hour left. Therefore, I would like to go to the essence and then come back to a few of them. Okay. Now, I'll just, one more is, okay, 2 points are there. I'll just take one of to get operated. You want the best of, I think, suppose you are getting operated, and if I say I am the doctor and you are my first patient, will anybody be interested in getting operated under me? Because this is my first experimenting. I don't think so anybody would come forward. If I say I have completed my pilot training and this is going to be my first flight, that too I have done only simulation earlier, and this is going to be my real flight, and will you all be my passengers? Probably answer would be no. To fly, we want the best of the pilot. To get operated, we want the best of the doctor. When it comes to teaching, are we looking at that perspective? Now, when we say so it's always said, get the best teacher, get the best out of the teacher, keep him trained. When we say get the best out of teacher, we are again missing out. We are just looking at the technical intent. We are not looking at the long-term intent with which the student is going to land up in society and contribute to society. That is missing. Okay. Now, I think I will go ahead with one story of Prince from Harvard Business Review, which is the very essence of your education also as teachers. Okay. There was a king and he wanted his prince to be a better king. It is natural that we expect our children to be better off than what we are. That's quite but natural. Okay. So the king sent him to Sage for training. No webinars like this, no short-term STTPs. So he sent him to a Sage for training. When the prince came to the Sage and said, King has sent me to get trained under you, he said, you're still closing the eyes. He said, go to the forest, stay in forest for a week, come and narrate what sounds you hear. Sage, when he said like this, Prince got irritated. I thought you'll be teaching archery, you'll be teaching me with respect to riding horses, many things, but he's giving a meaningless exercise. Not to disobey, he went into the forest, stayed in forest for a week. After 1 week, he said, I hear whenever a tree falls, it makes a sound. I hear the roaring of lion, howling of wolves, crying of hyenas, etc. He said, you've done a good work. Go back to the forest, stay in forest for a week, come and narrate what more you hear for second week. Prince said already 1 week is a waste, second week is going to be waste. Not to disobey, he went into the forest, stayed in the forest for a week, second week, came back. This time he said different sounds. When the night everything is silent, I can tell exactly in which direction the river is flowing, just by hearing the sound of the waves of water. He said that. And he also said, without looking at the tree behind me, I will tell which tree is it. When the wind passes through a bamboo tree, the sound is different. When the wind passes through a mango tree, the sound is different. When the wind passes through a banana plant, it is totally different. So hearing at the sound, I can tell which plant is behind me. Sage said, you've done a very good work. When he said he has done a very good work, Prince was happy. He said, go back to the forest, stay for 1 more week and tell me what more sounds you hear. Prince was still irritated. Already 2 weeks are waste and third week is going to be waste. Not to disobey, he went into the forest, stayed in the forest for a week, and then third time he said, all of you have seen mimosa plant, touch me not. The moment you touch, it crumbles. After a few moments, it opens. When the mimosa plant closes, when it opens, it gives a crickling sound. You cannot hear with any most powerful mic also, you can't hear. You have to be a part and parcel of the process of the plant. You can hear, otherwise you can't. When the flower blooms, when the flower closes, you can hear the crickling sound. He said these sounds in the third attempt. Sage said, you've done excellent work. Go back to the kingdom and rule, he said. Prince lost all the patience. You asked me to hear this sound, that sound, and After 3 weeks, you tell I'm a very good king. What is that you have taught me? Hearing the unheard is very important. Can you hear the unheard? I repeat the statement, hearing the unheard. Common man will have plenty of problems. He will never come and tell, I have this problem, I have that problem. Just looking at their face, looking at their actions, looking at their behavior, are you in a position to feel what is the trouble they are undergoing? If you can feel that, you're going to be a better king. Exactly that matches here. Can we feel the pulse of a student? It is just not the academics perspective. Can you feel the pulse in terms of the psychological trauma a child is undergoing? Can you feel that? That is professionalism. Teaching, we all do teaching. Fantastic job as teachers we've done. But are we going a step ahead in terms of hearing the unheard? I'll just give an example. I think the time permits for me there. One student came to me and said, sir, can I talk to you? I think I was very friendly with most of the students. I said, yeah, come in. And I said, sit down. And then she sat. Sir, I have decided to suicide myself. I said, I looked at her and then smiled, gave a wonderful smile, said, good decision. Okay. But the date of your suicide date is I'm going to give it. That's the only difference. Okay. She was smiling and said, okay, sir, I'll be very happy to, I will be waiting for that day. Okay. I said, give me some time. I need to scientifically plan that date. Okay. And because I was close, she was also very happy. And then she went back. I called the father. I just called the entire data of her personal file, looked at what is father, what is mother, what is the thing, etc. in the whole family. And then I called the father. And I did not say this, that he has taken this decision. I just called him, can you come to the institute and then speak to me in person because I got something personally to talk to you. He said, sir, I'm very busy. I don't have time. Please look to her mother. Probably she can come. I said, okay, no problem. I kept the phone, called the mother. Mother, when I called, actually, in fact, the mother was in a higher position than what husband was. She was in a better position. She was probably having more responsibility than what her husband had, different position. When I called, she said, sir, I'm really very busy. I'm tied up so much that I don't have time for anything to come to the institute and listen to you. And whatever is there, child is with you, please take care. That's it. If this is the state of affair, probably what can happen? Later on, I counseled this one and then I transformed her. And then once she completed her engineering, she said, sir, thank you very much for that 3 months of your time, and wherein I could really understand what I am. I really could understand the perspective of life. And then she said, I'm now very much confident. She got a job in a very big industry, and then she went. And then she said, sir, I just would like to put a photo in your, office. I said, no, just take the institute name, put it there, because the cultural transformation is from the institute. Okay, I mean, why I'm trying to emphasize is, can your yardstick be a step ahead beyond academics? That is professionalism. Our yardstick in terms of measurement for academicians is only in terms of how much is the result. 100% result, fantastic. How consistently have been doing? Very good. How many varieties of subjects you have taken? So, fantastic. The perspectives of looking at the professionalism are totally different. We need to take that yardstick. Okay. How much time I have? Another half an hour?
Sir, some 20 minutes, sir. 20 minutes.
Okay. Because I need to wind up the things which are very critical to me now. Okay. So we need to look at, I think, one of the famous quotes which Albert Einstein liked, it is the other way around, So I think probably most of the things we take from him, imagination is more important than knowledge. He said knowledge is limited, therefore you should have imagination. But his kick was something else. He took it from creative people are curious, flexible, persistent, independent. Are we trying to phase in these things in the process of education? Okay. I'll take this video if the time permits in the end, because I need to go back. I will not take this down. Okay. Let me take this video. I wish you will enjoy that, and what's called as sense of belongingness, if that perspective can be brought in this one. Okay, let me play. If you're hearing, please let me know. If you're not hearing, also let me know. Can you hear the sound? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's
Sound is there.
Video?
Video also.
audible.
Video also.
No video, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Enjoy that. Yes. They brought a cup, then started waving it in the house. Lion grew up. The house, they brought it telescope. After a year, they wanted to see it. How is it? What did you learn from that is sense of belongingness. There are many things. Probably we will always, I think, down the line you'll come to know, probably as parents, you'll find that, oh, no longer my kids are with me. They're probably, as parent, you may be left out as orphans. Probably. Why that's happening? Somewhere as professionalism perspective, we have missed out in terms of nurturing sense of belongingness. If can nurture that sense of belongingness, the dimension to which you can add this professionalism will be different. That personal touch, wherein are we somewhere bringing in this perspective of sense of belongingness along with the society, with the humanity, with the parents, with the friends. If this can be brought in, that adds dimension. Academics is fine. Okay. And let's look at this one. I think time is less, but let me go it fast and then play this. Are you seeing the video? Are you seeing the video?
Yes, sir. It's playing. And audible.
What I wanted to emphasize from that video was, I don't know how many, it takes time. I think I've seen that video at least not less than 20 times to understand what is the learning perspective with which you can look at it. What you can see there is only in the first few minutes, I think if you look at the mother, okay, she will put the water on her face, okay, then she will breathe in. And then afterwards, 1, 2, 3, she'll go inside and then come out. And child is observing that only for first 2 minutes. After that, entire thing learning that takes place, if you look into the perspective, it is learned by looking at the peers. Are you developing, are we in a position to develop that system of collaboration and peer learning? Not because when they go out with industry, the problem with you succumb to the industry pressure, not because you don't have knowledge. We have never learned the art of what is called collaborated learning. Those things need to be taken with respect to it. Okay. So when I was, let us look into last video before I close. Let me take the statement. If you salute your duty, you don't need to salute anybody. But if you pollute your duty, you have to salute everybody. What is the message? We are looking at the professionalism perspective with which that needs to be cultivated during this education process. We might teach any technology, we might teach any science, but at the end of it, application of technology when it comes to humanity, application of science to humanity, the touch of human response will only come. That is going to add what is called as professionalism. Okay, because I would like to give questions in the end for some time. Normally, a company grows from 50 to 100 to 1,000 or 5,000 crores. We call it a success, but that is only a growth. That material growth, this one is only a growth. If growth is aided by ethics, it becomes a progress. You cannot say that when the company is growing from 50 to 100 to 5,000, it's progressing. No. Is ethics embedded with respect to it? That becomes a progress. Progress with morality and humanity with spirituality. If this gets embedded, that becomes a success. I think somewhere we have wrongly defined success, and that has aided in terms of professionalism not getting embedded into the process of it. That is progress, morality, humanity, spirituality should get embedded, and these things we are not being emphasizing anywhere. We are looking at only one aspect of the growth, maybe even academic growth. When we say academic, are we trying to inculcate these aspects of it? Okay. If you look at we never compromised on ethics, okay, and integrity. And the best example for this would be a very short video, wonderful meaning. Just look at what he said.
Last year on February 6, 2018, Prince Charles wanted to give Ratan Tata the Lifetime Achievement Award for Philanthropy at Buckingham Palace.
Yes.
Everything was set. It was under the auspices of the British Asian Trust. I reached London on the 2nd or the 3rd of February, and there were 11 missed calls from Mr. Tata.
Yeah.
So I said, God, what's happened? So I'm picking up my bags at Heathrow from the conveyor belt, and I called Mr. Tata. I said, what's happened? He says Tango and Tito, his dogs.
Yes.
One of them had fallen terribly ill.
Yes.
He's saying, I can't leave him and come.
So sensitive.
I said, Mr. Tata, Prince Charles has organized this Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes.
He didn't come.
He didn't come.
And you know what Prince Charles said?
Yes.
He says, that's a man. You know, Shakespeare ends Julius Caesar in a very fine way. He says the elements were so mixed in him of Brutus that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man. That's the man that Ratan is. That's why the house is what it is. That's why the house of Tata is what it is. That's why it is on stable course. Leadership is not about what you do. Leadership is also about what you believe in. And sometimes what you do and what you believe in merge. Often we do things that we want other people to see. We do it for the optics.
Yes.
He generally believes.
Yes, I think it was very short, but if you try to look at these aspects of integrity, commitment, truth, ethics, okay, and humanity, I think probably anybody in the whole world would have still gone and taken that, received that. But what still counted for him was the health of the dog. Okay, if we can have that perspective to animals, you can imagine what perspective he has for the entire humanity. I think just to try to go back and look at the dimension with which he's working. I think beyond all the, the financial, the human touch that is taking him to this. Probably we have a lot to learn in terms of what professionalism is from his life. Please go and look into it. I think that is going to give a real meaning of what is it. Okay. If you look at this, why the Titanic accident took place, everybody said the sky was not clear, the driver was not clear, alert, everything is secondary. In fact, the driver was very alert, ship was very strong. He took a decision based on tip of the iceberg. Tip of the iceberg is only 10%, 90% is hidden. And what we are trying to focus is the entire essence of so-called professionalism in terms of ethics, humanity is all hidden. We are not trying to bring out this. When you don't try to bring this out, you're bound to hit with this, and we're not going to succeed as human beings. Somewhere we have missed that bus, and what I'm trying to entail is, can you bring out that professionalism in terms of humanity culture, which is there embedded as a part of education. Edu is bring out. Here education is dumping. Edu is bring out. Personality exists. You're trying to bring out that. In the process, if you're not brought it, the professionalism perspective is missing there. Okay. I think it's time. 1 minute. So let's look at this. And the last statement is very important. Very short video, but
felt alone. And worse, it was my fault. I wondered if I was just wrong, an imposter, a 22-year-old kid who had no idea how things actually worked. Now, years later, I understand that that is how things work when there's no sense of higher purpose. So it's up to all of us to create it so we can all keep moving forward together. One of my favorite stories is when JFK went to go visit the NASA Space Center, and he saw a janitor holding a broom, and he asked him what he was doing, and the janitor replied, "Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon." Purpose is that feeling that you are a part of something bigger than yourself, that you are needed, and that you have something better ahead to work for. Purpose is what creates true happiness. J.K. Rowling got rejected 12 times before she finally wrote and published Harry Potter. Even Beyonce had to make hundreds of songs to get Halo. The greatest successes come from having the freedom to fail. Ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clear as you work on them. You just have to get started.
I think the message was very clear. One is freedom to fail. Second is the purpose is very important. Yes, I think when he gave the example of JFK, probably he was trying to talk in terms of purpose. Our end purpose is, okay, covering the syllabus and everything, probably we are mistaken. The professionalism gets lost there. Okay. The only source of knowledge is experience. That means what is expected to be given is, can you bring in that? Okay. I will not take any of these things, because how we trying to enforce all these things in the institute, I was trying to bring in so that your purpose of higher education gets comes to fore. I will not touch that. I don't have time. Okay. I think two things we will take up here. Practice doesn't make perfect. I think we all have practice makes a man perfect is wrong. Get the perfect practice so that perfect practice makes a man perfect. So I think somewhere we have missed the bus of what is a perfect practice. We have been teaching, we have been doing a wonderful job, but is that the practice of perfect? Probably we have not looked at it. We're doing it fantastically for years together, but is that entailing so-called the professionalism? That perfect practice has not been imbibed into the education process. If that can be brought in, probably we'll be having a different look at it. What is insanity? Doing the same thing, same way, expecting a different result. I think in education we have been continuing to do that. Okay. Important educational goal is learning to learn. I think this is now changed. Important educational goal is learning to unlearn and relearn. The challenge is unlearning is most difficult job. That is why Honduras Bridge, which we saw as our education purpose is there, the difficulty is unlearning. The moment you facilitate unlearning in children or anybody, probably when they go out, they'll be finding some difference. I think this is there in Telugu division. I think before I close, and one more video, if time permits, I'll play, but I'll just close it for your PowerPoint session itself. This is there in Telugu division everywhere. Some members keep their organization strong, while others join and just belong. Some dig right in, some serve with pride, some go along just for a ride. Some volunteer to do their share, while some sit back and just don't care. On meeting days, some always show, but there are those who never go. Some always pay their dues ahead. Some get behind for months instead. Some do their best. Some build, some make. Some never give, but always take. Some lag behind. Some let things go. Some never help the organization grow. Some drag, some pull, some don't, some do. Decide which of these are you. This is being put at every nook and corner. The moment you look at it, it tries to bring in what is the purpose of my education? What is the purpose of my life? What is the purpose of my job? It triggers that. If it can do it, probably you'll find, I think all the examples that we have seen with regards to Tata, this is one of them actually. Okay. I think I will not have time. Start enjoying your profession. You'll be on a permanent holiday. I want, if this gets embedded into everyone, I think the question in terms of being with family and all those things, you come home and you say, I'm tired. Probably we never made the profession as an enjoyable profession. If you can make everyone enjoy their profession, when they come back home, the family is happy. When the family is happy, you are happy. Probably it is a different look for life. That is entailing your professionalism. Thank you very much. I think after the questions, if time permits, I will show you a video. Otherwise, I'm done with me from my end. I said the very first slide still counts. These are my perspectives to look at professionalism. There may be hundreds of dimensions. If you want to add, please send me a mail. Sir, I mean, this dimension is also important. I would be very happy to add to it. Because of the time limitations, I have brought in certain features within my ambit of learning, within my ambit of experience, I brought in forth for you. Okay, please send me your email in terms of personal feedback of what should have been the content, what can go into it, what was satisfactory, and then mail it to me so that it really brings in the very essence of what professionalism for the sessions to follow from my end. Thank you very much. I think unfortunately I could not have a feel of the audience. Had it given, probably the session would be still different. Okay, please mail me on Umesh, UMESH .Bhushi, BHUSHI at gmail.com. This is my personal email ID. Please send your comments so that I can revamp my education, the professionalism topic itself. Thank you very much. Let me take up any questions. If you got anything to follow, you can just.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. U.M.Bhushi, sir. That was really a wonderful session, sir. I would like to thank you for sparing your valuable time for us, sir. And I find the main takeaways from today's session were purpose of education should be for life and not for career. Then you told us that the attitude of professionalism we need to carry in various spheres of life. Then the joy and satisfaction of being professional towards each and everyone is immense and everyone should implement it. And lastly, a very powerful and impactful statement, leadership is performance and not position. So I'm sure everyone here will be benefited by the interesting information and facts shared by Bhushi sir. So I thank Dr. Bhushi sir for sharing the relatable information with us as well. I would like to thank the director sir, principal ma'am and all the HODs for their continuous support and encouragement. Thanks all the participants. And if there are no more queries, we would like to end the session.